everybody, today I'm going to talk about my favorite offering from the house of Prada, and this is Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense, and it was released in 2011. Now, before I get into the fragrance, I want to give kind of a backstory on it. When this fragrance had just been released, actually before it was released, even like a month before it was released, I pre-ordered it because at the time Dior Homme Intense was huge, L'instant de Cologne Extreme was huge, and it seemed like, in my mind, the next huge, hype was going to be Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense. Since we already have all these, these other two fragrances that are being hyped that are intense or extreme, I figured Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense would be the next hype. So I wanted to get in on it and be one of the first reviewers to review it, etc. And unfortunately, in my opinion, this fragrance is kind of slept on. I don't really see too many people talk about it, but for me, absolutely magnificent fragrance. So Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense comes in a 50 ml and a 100 ml bottle, and you can find it for anywhere between 40 and 100 bucks American. Right here I have the 3.4 ounce, and just so we're all on the same page here, this is probably my favorite bottle ever. Just the black and the silver and the way this is offset from everything else is just dead sexy. At least in the designer end of things, this is most likely my favorite bottle. So I'm going to show you the sprayer real quick too. Really nice sprayer. That one actually kind of stuck a little. Okay, so the House of Prada, when I first started reviewing fragrances, 3 years back, I was blind buying a lot. I'd see, Tim or Mark or whoever kind of recommending. And one of the first fragrances I ever blind bought was Prada Amber Pour Homme, the original, and God, did I hate it. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was god awful. And that also has a very beautiful presentation. So, I'm hearing all these things about how it smells like expensive soap, blah, blah, blah. I get it, and I just think I can't get past thinking that it smells like a powder room or something. Like it smells like flowers and powder, and I didn't like it at all. I actually gave my bottle, my 50 ml bottle, that actually I purchased at retail to my stepdad. I just gave it to him. Like I can't wear this crap. Here we are years later, and I actually went to the mall last week, checked it out, and I actually really didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty nice. I wouldn't buy a bottle for retail, but if I, could get a bottle, 3.4 ounce for like 40, 50 bucks, I jump on it. It smells, decent. It's not my favorite kind of fragrance. Soapy fragrances in general are not really my cup of tea. Original Vetiver by Creed, and now Prada is now doing it for me as well. I'm not particularly fond of even Mugler cologne. It's okay. But soapy fragrances and me don't really get along too well. I think they're boring and they're just too meh. So for Prada, this was the first fragrance that kind of made me kind of take a second look at the house, because I sort of wrote it off at first, and I blind bought this because even though I knew that I didn't like the original, I just took a look at the notes and I'm like, this has got me written all over it. So speaking of notes, what does this smell like? Or what are the notes, rather? The notes that captured me were patchouli, musk, myrrh, amber, tonka bean, vanilla, and then of course we have the bergamot opening just like in the original as well. So that really kind of captured me and made me, click the buy button for the website. And so speaking of that, what does this fragrance smell like to me? This is just such a unique fragrance. I really do give Prada props, because Prada is selling fragrances that they know damn well probably aren't going to make it as top sellers, with the exception of maybe Luna Rosa, the original. I mean, that just smells good to anybody, I think. But as far as Prada Amber Pour Homme, Infusion Dome, Infusion Iris, Infusion de Vetiver, Luna Rosa Extreme, they're not fragrances that are for everybody. those are fragrances that are going to be somewhat challenging, I think, on the designer end, and even on the niche end. This particular fragrance is definitely unique, and so that's what really captured me with the house. So for this, what's interesting for Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense, it starts off with the same DNA as Prada Amber. Okay, you get a big blast of that, soapy vibe type fragrance with some citrus going on. But then it just develops into this really unique, somewhat clean yet dirty, earthy, patchouli musk combination with this chocolatey undertone going throughout the fragrance, and I just think it's just magnificent. For me, longevity is about 10 hours, but sillage and projection aren't that great. I usually do about 6 sprays with this, to be honest with you, because it is more of a skin scent. If you spray your clothes with it, it'll last longer and project a little better. But for this fragrance, it's definitely more of a cozy fragrance, a more intimate fragrance. I believe Katie Puckrick actually also said that this is more like a intimate setting type fragrance, and I would agree with that. It has that dark quality, like that seductive dark quality with the patchouli and the musk that make you just kind of feel a little bit animalic, a little more oomph to the fragrance, and has the nice warming effect and calming and soothing effects from the myrrh and the vanilla and the tonka bean. So overall, it's just a fragrance that's just very unique. It's not one-dimensional by any means. It has these different things going on that give you a little bit of everything. The soapy vibe, the fresh vibe, the dark vibe. It's got everything kind of going on. Cozy, sexy, intimate. So that's what really turned me on to Prada as a house, was this fragrance. I will say that I'm really kind of giving some love to Prada. Recently, I purchased Prada Luna Rosa Extreme. I absolutely love this one too. So they're really doing a great job as far as producing fragrances that aren't going to necessarily be for the mass. They're going to be for connoisseurs or somebody in general who kind of wants to stick out from all the aquatics and all of the sweet fragrances that we have in the market today. So overall, I'd say that this fragrance could definitely be used for anything that's upper scale, and it's definitely got a little bit more of a subtle edge to it. So if you're wearing a suit with this fragrance and you want to smell unique but kind of remain in the background, suitable for that, definitely. Anything that's kind of semi-formal works great. Casually too. It's kind of it's not a one-trick pony. It works for everything. But I personally see a guy dressed up in a nice cashmere sweater, wearing some black Dockers or some black khaki pants or something like that. So with some nice dress shoes and a nice black watch or something like that. So the semi-formal kind of image is what I see going with this fragrance for me personally. This is what I use it for the most part. But I do use it when I go out, even if it's a little more casual, just wearing a sweater and jeans or something like that. This works. But typically speaking, I don't do the t-shirt and shorts or t-shirt and jeans with this fragrance. I think it's a little more elegant than that. So overall for age, I would also recommend anybody that's kind of 18 to 20 and over. I really don't see a whole lot of kids getting along with this fragrance, especially in high school. It's not necessarily a compliment getter. I've had a few people say that it smells good here and there, but it's not something that's kind of screaming from the rooftops for attention. It's not necessarily sweet in the cliche sort of high school boy, college boy sort of way. It's more of an elegant sweet with the myrrh and the patchouli, chocolatey, vanilla combination. So it does have that gourmand-esque type vibe to it, but for the most part, I'd say the main notes that are in the forefront are patchouli, musk, and vanilla. So you get that, or no, sorry, myrrh. So patchouli, myrrh, and musk. And then you have the underlying sweetness of the vanilla and the tonka bean and the amber. But for the most part, this just has that really nice, earthy sort of spiritual element to it. And I really do enjoy it. So anybody that's like 20 and over, you're looking for a semi-formal fragrance that is, within a good, reasonable budget, um, and it performs well, check out Prada Pour Homme Intense. I hope you all enjoyed my review, and I will talk to you all later.